Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Uneducation Station, or the Uned podcast. I am here with my hostess with the mostess. I always...
I'm here, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were waiting for me.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine.
I'm here. I happen to be here every now and then.
Yeah. You just so happen to live here. It's fine.
I happen to work right there, just over there, a couple feet away from me.
It's totally fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Anyways, so Arthur, I wanted to bring up something a little bit more nostalgic today.
Okay.
So let's
go.
So let's talk about our favorite video games that we played when we were a child. Let's go full nostalgia.
We're going in one of these episodes, eh?
Yeah, let's do that. I feel like we've been talking a little bit more like outwards, like what's going on in the world. So I think we should
who cares about the world?
Yeah.
This is all about us.
Who cares about
this
the
is
world?
our podcast.
Yeah, this is our show.
This is us. Nobody cares. This is... Wouldn't care about you.
Yeah. Anyways.
So, games that I played. So growing up, I didn't play probably as much believe it or not, as much video games as far as variety is concerned.
Right.
I was pretty, I was a Nintendo kid. So I grew up playing, Pokemon. I didn't have an Xbox or a PS3 or anything like that at the time. I played Nintendo stuff. So I had the GameCube, the Game Boys, and the Wiis. And the games I played most, of course, was Pokemon.
Right.
As every kid did, but I was just super into it, as every kid was, right? And that's basically like the only game I played. So as far as like variety is concerned, when I was growing up, not a whole lot of action, not a whole lot of storytelling. I don't know, Pokemon storytelling. Nobody cared. When you're a kid, nobody cared about the storytelling. You're like, oh, look at this cool animation. Look at this legendary Pokemon. That's all we cared about, right? But it was fun. I spent so much time on Pokemon. Like I looked at tutorials, events. Actually, I didn't do too many. Actually, I never got to do any events. But it was a lot harder back then. Because, like, for example, for Pokemon, like the Diamond and Pearl, Gen 4.
Yeah. Like
the Darker Eye events and the Shaman events and stuff. You had to, like, go to GameStop and do, like, this firmware thing. Because there was no internet, right? I mean, there was internet, but it wasn't like video games now where you just update it and then there's new events or whatever.
Right.
You don't update the game. You go to a physical location to get this weird firmware thing to be able to activate the Darker Eye. It was so weird. I never did it, unfortunately, but it was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I did not really play a whole lot of Pokemon when I was younger.
Shame on you.
Don't
shame. Yu-Gi-Oh kid.
No, I wasn't a Yu-Gi-Oh
Digimon kid.
Shut up. So I mean, I played Pokemon Red and Blue, as you would.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a Nintendo 64. That was the first console we ever had. And so I played a lot of like Donkey Kong Country and like Super Mario 64 and those types of games.
Right.
And so when I got a Game Boy Advanced, or no, I had a Game Boy Color and then I had a Game Boy Advanced.
Okay.
And so I played a lot of like Pokemon Red and Blue. I played just a whole bunch of random Mario games. Like there was a bunch of different Mario games that were out for the Game Boys and whatnot.
Yeah, there was a ton. The Game Boy was really cool for its time, like as a handheld consoles, because they weren't really, I mean, there's the PSP, but that in and of itself, it was cool. PSPs were really cool. It was like basically a portable PlayStation, and you can play like way better games than you could on like the Game Boy, right? Well, subjective, right? But different types of games.
Yeah.
But the Game Boy itself was really cool. Like it was affordable. It was, for the most part, it was, games came out for it, and was basically like Nintendo's. Oh man, in my opinion, it was Nintendo's biggest selling point. Of course, before like the DS, of course, but like at the time, it was like GameCube and stuff, right? But nobody. The GameCube was cool, but Game Boys were, you could bring it with you, and play it on the bus in school. And
the interesting distinction between the PSP and the Game Boy was that the PSP, it just had like a tiny little disc, and I always found that super weird.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas,
well, you can do digital.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the time, that digital wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, the PlayStation Store was still kind of like, but with the Game Boy,
More boomer talk.
Boomer talk.
Boomer talk.
Back in my day. But with the Game Boy, it was like a smaller version of the Nintendo 64 cartridge, which was super
Cartridges
cool.
are so great.
Oh yeah, and then of course I had a GameCube, and I did the Smash Melees, and all of that fun stuff. And I pretty much grew up playing Nintendo consoles.
Yeah,
which was
same.
really cool.
Yeah, I never had an Xbox or a PS3. Like, we went from the consoles that rotated in my house were the Game Boy Advances. I never had the SP or the Color. GameCube, Nintendo Wii, another Nintendo Wii. We have two.
Yeah.
It's so weird to think that we had two, but the reason why we had two is because you can use it as like a DVD player.
Right.
And so we're like, okay, well, we'll just get two, one for upstairs, one for downstairs, and you can watch Netflix on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, why not? It was like a smart TV.
Yeah, basically. And I remember I brought this up not too long ago. Actually, probably like a half hour ago. I said,
Yeah.
I realized that there is a me from like
me
10 or 11
now,
years
Zach,
ago.
some people don't know what a me is
Oh my gosh.
that are
what?
listening right now. It's a different time, Zach.
Oh gosh. um so anyways, yeah, I just found that really
You're
funny.
not gonna explain what a me is?
Fuck.
You gotta.
Am I gonna have
Yes.
to boomer talk?
Yes, you're gonna
what
have to
a
boomer
me-
talk.
Oh god.
You don't have to. It's just an avatar.
So yeah, it's basically like a custom character that you can make, and there was like a me channel where there was all the characters that you made.
Yeah, and then you can. But the thing is, you can integrate. I mean, they exist still. I'm just joking. Like, it's on the Switch as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just joking. But yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, it's really cool to, like, back then. You can create a character and then you can play them in the games.
Right.
Use your characters in Wii Sports and stuff like that. That was super cool.
Yeah, that was super cool, and that was definitely something new with the Wii. And oh, dude, we haven't even started talking about one of the main things that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Call of Duty. So
You're gonna talk to the Call of Duty editor kid about this.
About Call of Duty.
This is what it is. After this Call of Duty stigma, I'm trying to get away from, Zach.
No. I'm not. So I'm going more for a nostalgic route than anything else. But
I'm joking.
Yeah. So basically, I wanted to talk about like when we both first started playing Call of Duty, and like what games we started on, all of that kind of stuff. I started with the first Modern Warfare, probably
COD 4.
Yes, COD 4, Modern Warfare. And I started on that game. I think it was probably only like a year or two after it was released, because my dad got a PlayStation for Christmas or something like that, and he was using it as a media player, and he ended up borrowing the game from one of his friends, and so I ended up playing through the campaign once or twice. And my mom hated it. My mom hated the fact that I played it.
All moms, all parents were like, Call of Duty,
Yeah, no, Call of Duty
mature,
Yeah, Call of Duty was not a game for children, especially in
Well, it's literally not a game for children. It's rated M.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I would, when I get home from school, I would just immediately go and hop on the game for a while, and until my parents got home, and I would scurry upstairs and act like I wasn't playing Call of Duty all day.
Oh yeah.
And then of course I played Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, the Black Ops is.
Yeah, my story is very different from the average, because that story is the average player. Sorry, Zach, you're not special.
Well,
but my story started in around the MW2 days.
okay.
And the MW2 days, not necessarily, more like MW2, Black Ops 1, MW3, around that area, because I started with the whole trick-shotting sniping scene.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I started. So normally when people were getting to that scene, they played Call of Duty first. They played they played normally, the first time you'd ever play Call of Duty, you'd be like, okay, homie, RPD, Claymores,
right.
How it goes, right?
Right.
I never did that. The first time I ever played, I've told the story many times, but the first time I ever played Call of Duty was MW2 Rust 1v1 intervention quick scope sniping. That's what I did, Zach. That was it. Because an MW2 on the Xbox 360. So this is now we're going to Xbox 360. I never owned one, but my cousin Lawrence did, who used to live down the street over there. And he had it, and I would always, because he's down the street after school, sometimes I might, maybe not go home. I might walk over there because fuck it, just to play some Call of Duty. But what was cool was that in the Xbox 360 MW2, I don't remember if this was on PlayStation, because I did, but I can't remember. But on Xbox, at least, if you played local, you can you start from level 1,
right,
and then you level up.
Yeah,
and you get your perks and everything. Everything is like as if you're playing online. And frankly, he might not have had Xbox Live at the time. So that's just what we did. We just went on MW2, played some Rust, some Terminal, and we just sniped, and then we leveled up, and etc. So we kind of had our own little thing.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember around that time when you and I would play together all the time, and you were trying to get me to learn how to snipe, and I was just so bad. It was so funny, and I remember we would play, especially on, I think it was either Black Ops 1 or MW3. We would play with bots and try to do trick shots and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes, it was great.
Yeah, those were the good old days.
It was sure. Black Ops 1, because MW3 and MW2 did not have bots.
Okay.
But it was Black Ops 1 private match bots. That was a time.
Yeah.
That was a time.
Yeah, that was definitely where it all kind of started. And it's so crazy, because the more I think about it, the more I remember you coming over and us playing Modern Warfare all the time. It was literally
because I didn't have a PS3 or Xbox, man.
Yeah,
I was trying to game.
Yeah.
I was having a time. I was like, we're going to Zach's house. Let's go.
Yeah, and this was back in middle school too.
Yeah, middle school. I didn't get my first PS3 until, ooh boy, when did I get it? I think towards the beginning of high school, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I was super late to I remember because I got the PS3 and the PS4 was about to come out.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's funny because the PS4 was a really weird. It came in at a weird time where it's nobody really got it. Everybody was like, yeah, it's kind of. From PS3 to PS4 at the time, most of the games weren't it had cooler graphics, but it wasn't really enough to justify buying it. And because of that, we were we're kids, we can't just buy another console when we have this one that already has the games that already plays, and developers are already still making those games.
Yeah,
working for the PS3 as well as the PS4. We're like, no, it's all good. We won't get the PS4. So everybody just stuck to the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and just neglected the Xbox One and the PS4. Obviously, that changed, but in the beginning, that's how it went.
Yeah, and the coolest part was back in the PS3, Xbox 360 era.
Mm-hmm.
The longevity of games being supported by servers and all of that kind of stuff was exponentially longer than it is now.
Yes.
And you can probably still get into a Black Ops 2 lobby. I think I've done that.
It won't be a very pretty thing.
Oh no, God no.
Mods and all that type of stuff. It won't be very pretty, but yeah, no, the server support is still wide. You can still get into. I don't know if the online MW2 servers or COD 4 servers are still a thing, but people have their own. They have their own servers, right? And you join them, and that's how it works now. So it's really cool. They're fun games still. They're timeless, Yeah. And you can just it's the fact that people say Call of Duty is unrealistic, and it is, but that was never the point of Call of Duty.
Yeah,
the Call of Duty is an arcade shooter.
Basically, yeah, that's exactly what it is, and that's what it's always been.
If you consider it to be that arcade shooter, that fun run and gun. Physics might not be too real, but it's still pretty challenging. It's close enough. Yeah. It's no Battlefield, but Battlefield, people back in the day. Now it's a little more blurred, but back in the day, we had this very fine the opposite rather. Before we've tried to compare Battlefield to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
The line was very blurred between their distinction. Nowadays it is they're very separate games, but back in the day. Everybody was it was either Call of Duty or Battlefield. And for some reason, it was some Android versus Apple debate. It was really bad.
Dude, I remember that so vividly too. Like I remember I would be talking to people about video games, obviously, and you know, they'd sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, I have Battlefield 3." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I have Modern Warfare 3." And they're like, "Oh, I don't really like Call of Duty." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't really like Battlefield." Fuck you.
Well, I don't really like you. Oh, I don't really like you.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Rest in peace friendships just from what games you owned.
Yeah, dude. And it's so funny because at that time, it was all just games that we would get for Christmas or like for your birthday or something like that.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice.
Yeah, no, we didn't really have...
Whether we were a COD kid or a Battlefield kid was up to our parents. It depends on which game they bought.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, back in the early days of me playing video games, it was all just kind of up to my parents. And then, you know, I'd tell them like, "Hey, I want to play this game because this game looks really fun." And then they would look at it and see that it had warnings about blood and gore and language and all of that kind of stuff. And they're like... "Do you really know what's in this game?" And I'm like, "Yes, I've been told so many horrible things in MW2 lobbies, you have no idea." Like,
oh man, Zach, you can really tell if someone has been in an MW2 lobby or not. Like,
yes.
If you talk, you can tell if you're on Twitter or Instagram, you can tell if somebody has played MW2 lobbies or not, or Halo lobbies or not, or Battlefield lobbies or not.
Yeah.
And if they're a little bitch, a little pussy bitch millennial, they've never been in one of those lobbies. That is...
It's so hard
It's so bad. It's so... If you took a recording of like an MW2 lobby, everybody would get arrested.
Yeah.
for hate crimes, for attempted assault or something like that. I don't know if we're just terrible. There were some really bad things going on in those chats. And frankly, if I stuck... sorry, y'all. If I stuck a 14-year-old today in an MW2 lobby, they would probably be like so fucking shattered. They would be so, why did they think like this of me? Why I never did anything wrong? To be fair, sure, you know, why are they saying, you know, they shouldn't say those things to you even if they've never met you. But
and you're a kid.
But that's how it was. And that's how it went down.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you look at all of those different lobbies from back in the day versus now. Like, you listen to people sit there and try to talk a bunch of smack in Modern Warfare lobbies, but you know who's been here since the beginning. Like,
the smack talk in a Cold War or a Modern Warfare lobby today is like, it's watered down, but you can tell who's been in an MW2 lobby.
Yeah,
in the past.
there's like
you know who came from the bottom.
Yeah, you can see like the little hints of all of the stuff that happened in the past.
Zach, if they just say fuck you, they've never been in an MW2 lobby.
Yeah.
If they have something to say about my family, they've been in an MW2 lobby.
Yeah.
If I insult them and then all they have to say back is fuck you, they would not stand a chance in an MW2 lobby.
And
your religion is not safe. Your family is not safe. You are not safe in an MW2 lobby if your brain is not ready.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing ever, because like you and I play games together a lot.
Yes.
And so it's really funny when I can tell when you're pissed off at people when we play games together, because
it takes a lot to piss me off, but when I get pissed, if you flick that trigger, I'm the same person. I'm just a little more vocal.
You're just more of an asshole.
No, I wouldn't say asshole. I would just say I have to bring up some truths of which would
make them upset. Yeah.
You know, like the fact that, hey man, maybe you should think about how this is just a game.
Yeah. Yeah, or you know, you'll sit there and
to say this is a game is such a weak mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was
he doesn't get it. Oh no. That's a ninja quote. There's a ninja meme from it. Oh no. It's so good. It's on Twitter, so that's why you don't know.
Oh, yeah. I don't use Twitter. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm a bad person.
To say it's just a game is such a weak mindset.
Fucking what? I was just letting that like roll off like, yeah.
I'm not letting that go.
No.
Go on though. I mean, it's true though. It is just a game, but sometimes it's not just a game because there are more aspects to it. Like, for example, I mean, it's hard to keep that argument for like Call of Duty or like Battlefield or a run gun game, but like a story game, a single player game, it's not just a game, right? You know,
I mean,
it's more to it.
you look at Super Mario from the NES, and
That's just a game. No, that's just a game, Zach.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
Okay,
Are you trying to tell me the Super Mario NES story was so riveting that it changed your life?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying is that was like the beginning of like modern gaming.
Well, okay, for sure in that aspect, yes, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is,
it's just
when people take a when we're playing a Super Smash Bros. Game, Zach, and I win, and you get upset. I don't mean pissed that you lost because fuck you. I mean you get upset.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a different thing.
That's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, in that vein, like, yeah, no, it's just a game. But like the
I'm just picturing that in my head. You're like, Arthur,
I can't be friends.
And you walk out the door.
Yeah.
You leave. You drive off. I'm like, what just happened? What just happened?
Yeah.
Did our friendship just break? Because I won one round? The game's not even over? He just fell off the map? What just happened?
Yeah. One game of Smash Melee is just all it took to ruin the friendship, apparently. But I mean, you know, there are certain games that were like milestones in the gaming industry, and like,
yes,
you know, obviously Super Mario Bros is one of those games. But like when people sit there and try to say like this arrangement of pixels and like Fortnite dances is more than just like,
okay, yeah,
no,
calm down, buddy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. It's just a drawing.
It's just a drawing.
I threw it back at them, Zach. They told me it's just a drawing. That's just a drawing. Bitch. That's what you get. All right. Try to say try to say this is just a drawing. That's not just a drawing, Zach. That's that is everything that has to, that dignifies me, that says I am who I am because of these giant ass elf titties, these knockers behind me, Zach. Audio listeners are so confused right now.
Oh man,
this defines me as a human being, Zach. It's not just a drawing, okay? And I will not stand for this blasphemy. All right?
I will not stand for this blasphemy. Anyways, so to reel it in a little,
not just drawing, man. It's everything I have to my heart. It's everything. It's everything.
Anyways.
All the girls have clicked off.
Yeah, oh yeah. Wait, so you're telling me that girls showed up in the first place?
Hey, man. But, I don't know, I understand. Like, as someone who really enjoys technology and stuff, I get it, you know what I mean? Like, the advances of technology is awesome. I mean, I took classes in high school and college where we looked at how it's changed over time, and it is really cool. Yeah. How the generational steps, like, okay. When people make fun of graphics in today's games, I feel like, okay, it's weird because I agree with them to an extent, but not really. If it's like, if the graphics are like bad, right?
Right.
But it's meant to be like the idea that the picture that they're trying to go for is something crazy, right? Like a really realistic drawing, but then it ends up being bad. Then that's an issue, right?
Right.
But if a game it's like it's meant to be a little pixelated, or the art is a certain way, if it's a design choice, then that's fine because that's what they were going for, right?
Yeah.
So when I still haven't seen it yet, but when I saw the Diamond and Pearl remake for Switch, have you seen it yet?
Mm-mm.
I haven't either. I'm gonna look it up right now. Diamond and Pearl remake. Look at some pictures. You can see it's the design choice that they chose is very interesting.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, you definitely can see it, and a lot of people gave a shit. But I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know, is there something wrong with it? It's not bad. It's just a little different.
Yeah,
it's kind of reverted. If anything, it goes kind of because right now we're so used to like the sun and moon and the X and Y. I think they did it as well. I don't remember. Sorry, I never really follow. I stopped following Pokemon after Diamond and Pearl, but no, X and Y. No, what is it? Yeah, I don't know. Like the 3D switches, right? Like Pokemon Sun and Moon and the most recent one. Wait, isn't it Sword and Shield? Right? There's 3D models and they're a little more not as like chibi, not as cartoony. I mean, they are of course, but not as much, right? But this kind of goes back to how Pokemon used to be, where it was kind of just this little character. And of course, this is in a 3D version. Before it was 2D, right? But it kind of goes back to this kind of cartoony, small character. And I thought that's really cool because it's going back to Gen 4, where that was kind of like, the style.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's an ode to the style.
Yeah.
More than anything.
I definitely agree with that. And, you are trying to put a remake of an old game to the same standard of a game that's being developed today. And not only is this stylistically a lot differently, but also like, it's just they're trying to take a concept from 15 years ago and turn it into something that could be compared to today, and that's not going to happen.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, that's not the point I'm trying to make, right? The point I'm trying to make is that people saw these graphics and they're like, "That looks stupid."
No, I know. Okay, so let me rephrase a little bit. The people who are saying that the graphics look bad are trying to compare a remake of a game that came out 15 years ago to a game that would come out today, because they're trying to emulate the same type of style that the original game had. Like you said, like the small character, and they're walking around in a world that is now in 3 dimension.
I think what they're trying to do is they're not comparing necessarily, like the people are not comparing this game to the game 10 years ago or however long Diamond and Pearl was. They're comparing it to the previous games.
Right.
Even though the game's literally like Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield. They're comparing it to that, where they had the brand new cool it's no longer this side scrolling, well, not side scrolling, but this up down left right, this 2-dimensional world. It's no longer that. It's this cool, it's interactive and all that type of stuff. And then we go to this.
Right. Yeah, it's
sure, it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Different.
It's definitely a lot different.
But I don't know. I'll play it. It looks good. It looks good to me. It's Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon Gen 4, my favorite generation of Pokemon.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Gen 4 for me, Pokemon. So I played Platinum, and my brother had Diamond, my brother had Diamond. And first of all, the Nintendo DS was like just this genius invention. Touchscreen, stylus, 2 screens one on the top to operate the game, the one on the bottom for other things. Genius.
Right.
And Diamond and Pearl, in my opinion, set apart. I mean, it was the first DS game, but it set apart what Pokemon was before. I mean, it's still an up, down, left, right game.
Right.
But it was just so like Diamond. If it wasn't for what they did for Diamond and Pearl, then the preceding games could not be what they are. I feel like Diamond and Pearl. I'm boomer talking again, Zach.
I know.
Boomer talk. I'm sorry, but Diamond and Pearl could not, or these games have not been what they are without Diamond and Pearl, because when I'm boomer talking right now, I'm not saying the new games are bad. No, they're cool. I really like it. Sword and Shield and the new stuff. Even freaking Let's Go Eevee, but that was pretty cool. I watched that. I never played it. I don't have a Switch, but I watched those games. I was like, hey, that looks pretty cool. I liked it. They're cool. But Diamond and Pearl, if anybody who's played Pokemon for long enough, they can agree with me that there is something about Gen 4 that just set off, that removed. Oh God, how do I say it? There's something about Gen 4 that separated Pokemon from the previous games, like from Emerald to Leaf Green or Green for that matter. Well, yeah, Leaf Green, Fire Red, those type of games. Silver, There's
Right.
something about it that changed the way Pokemon was basically. Whether that was the interaction because of the touchpad, the soundtrack, something about it was just different. The game mechanics, I don't know, but you can tell after playing Call of Duty, after playing Pokemon, the preceding games like Black and White, X and Y, and then for that matter, Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon, that stuff, right?
Right.
Something about it changed. I'm not sure what it was. And to me, because of that, I feel like Diamond and Pearl or the Gen 4 was a very important game in the Pokemon franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
In my opinion, I feel like it is the most... Okay, sorry. Some super diehard Pokemon fans are going to be really upset, but I never cared about the story Pokemon at all until I played Diamond and Pearl, or until I played Gen 4. That was pretty cool. Like the whole Dialga Palkia thing, and if you play Platinum Giratina, it was really cool. So something about it was different. So in my mind, Gen 4 is very pivotal to the whole Pokemon game franchise. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I can see how one might get upset when they see like pictures of this for Diamond and Pearl and it being kind of like, bless you. How it could be kind of like a little jarring. You'd be like kind of, oh really? I was like Diamond and Pearl was like my favorite game. I really wanted to see it in the world that Pokemon Sword and Shield was, that 3D world, that move everywhere world, and it's still a move everywhere world, but the graphics to come with it, not necessarily this chibi cartoony world.
Yeah.
But it's a design choice.
Yeah.
They chose to do that. They were in the boardroom. They're like, let's do this. Because they already did that type of 3D world for Sun and Moon and X and Y, or Sword and Shield, sorry, right? So to do it again would be really cool, but if they just keep doing it over and over again, is there really like how does it become new? And this is a remake of an old game, so if you're gonna remake an old game, you can do two options. You can do it this way, or you can do it with the way that they have it on Sun and Moon, or they can do it this way.
Yeah.
And I think either way is fine. Either way should be fine. I have no issue with what this looks like. Would it be cool if I had the new graphics? Yeah, sure. But this is what they chose to do, and if I had a Switch, I'd buy it. I don't have a Switch though, but I would buy it.
Yeah, I mean, the hard thing when it comes to remaking older games is what way are you going to try to stylize that game, and like what way are you going to be able to turn this remake into something special, but also something that is kind of nodding at the old game.
Yes.
And making it a new enough experience to where you could like want to play it, because like it's remaking older games is a lot more complicated than you would initially anticipate.
Oh yeah, I mean the only thing that comes from the remaking it is literally just the idea. Everything else is made from the ground up, I would assume, at least, whole new graphics, whole new mechanisms and systems, whole new coding, whole new structures and such like that, right? So you're essentially just making a new game, but you already have another game to base it off of. So in that sense, it's better than starting from scratch, of course, right?
Right.
But it's no slouch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's definitely not an easy task to try to create something from nothing.
Mm-mm.
And we're not going to sit here and try to minimize that, but it's also hard to have the balancing act of remaking a game and having enough new stuff to make it so that you're wanting to play it,
Yeah.
but also enough of the original to make it feel like they were trying to remake that.
Yeah,
game.
because right now you're targeting an audience where you're playing Pokemon for the first time, and you played Diamond and Pearl when you were a kid. How are you going to make that guy, me, a person who doesn't have a Switch, how are you going to make me want to buy a Switch to play this game that I've already played before?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
For a new player, who have never played it, sure, it's a new game, new mechanics. Why not?
No Pokemon game. Wow.
Oh, Pokemon game, another one. Let's go.
Yeah.
How are they not running out of ideas? Because they make every single inanimate object a Pokemon. Tablebon, Ice Cream Mon, the Chandelier Pokemon. You know what I mean? But I'm joking. I'm joking. Relax. I'm semi-joking. Really? Ice cream Pokemon? Really? Really? I'm joking. I love Pokemon. It's great.
I mean, we could talk about Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards is very interesting because it just suddenly blew up randomly again.
Right.
I have no clue why they did.
Why? How?
It was so random. I feel like they had their own niche thing. Like, I mean, obviously everybody did it as a kid.
Right.
And then it kind of died. Even for the kids in the next generation, they kind of just stopped. They didn't really care too much about Pokemon. Pokemon was our generation, right?
Right.
But now people now like for some reason, I don't know where it happened, but everybody's doing it now. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I think it's super interesting. And as someone who used to maybe not collect Pokemon, I didn't really play Pokemon or did Pokemon cards for the collection purpose because I didn't know that much. I don't even know how the fucking game works, Zach. You know how to play? Did you know how to play the card game?
I did know how to play the
You
card
did?
game back in the day, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I still have an old Pokemon card collection that I started collecting like probably 12 or 13 years ago. So, I mean, you know, in that regard, I definitely am like a card collecting veteran.
Yes.
But like, you know, I'm not really into it very much anymore, unfortunately, just because number one, I can't afford it, and number two, it's like
I mean, I think it's cool that it's really popular now because
yeah,
you know,
for
I
sure.
thought they were really cool when I was a kid too. So it's really cool that they're popping off again. And you know, people are doing like the streams and the card pack openings.
Yeah.
And it's fun, you know, it's fun. And it's
Right.
like a you know, like a how do I say it? For me as like Japanese players for Japanese games and stuff, we have this term called gacha. You know what that is?
No.
Okay, it's basically just like lottery, but for obviously not money. It's like supply drops in Call of Duty.
Okay.
Basically like that, right? You buy packs, you open them, and you might get some rare characters,
Right.
or whatever that may be for that
Yeah.
for that game, right? So that's kind of how gacha works, and the reason why gacha is so popular amongst Japanese and stuff like that, and for us weebs, is because it's focused on anime and stuff. So naturally, you know, your boy, you know, that's what I'm into, and that's kind of the same idea of what's happening now. People that are into the Pokemon, people into Pokemon cards, they're buying these, and even though they're not necessarily, I mean, they could return a profit. But I see that most people aren't really. They're keeping it for collective purpose. I mean, we talked about it before, right? Collectives or collectibles.
Yeah.
You know, you just why not? You know.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, you know, I guess the coolest part about being able to collect all of these different things from shows, games, movies, whatever, is that, you know, it's not necessarily because, you know, that one shiny Charizard is worth $5,000, but it's about like, you know, you're collecting all of these really cool things that you really enjoy.
Yes.
And so it's just like, you know, I mean, when someone has a Pokemon card that's worth thousands of dollars, it almost makes me want to grab them by the shoulders and shake them and be like, bro, sell that shit. You can buy a new car. But you know, it's part of the collection. It's part of
I mean, you can say that about any sort of collection. You know what I mean? Like it's like a behind you, Zach.
Oh.
No, but you can say that about anything, right? Like anybody who collects baseball cards. I mean, we talked about collectibles already, so I'm not going to do it again. But it's that sentimental value that, I mean, why do people collect like expensive paintings or
Right, yeah.
or NFTs? You know, that are
Yeah.
happening right now. You know, e-currency and stuff. You know, why are people buying this stuff up if they're not going to like sell it? I mean, they might turn around and sell it, but some or most people won't. And it's because of the collective power, the collective ability, and it has that type of. Well, it's different for Pokemon cards because that is there, but there is also the lottery aspect.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even me as a kid, you know, buying the pack or buying the box, whatever it is, opening it, and then getting that really rare card, that feeling is super cool. You know what I mean? It's almost like an irreplaceable feeling.
Yeah, and that's also how gambling addictions start.
Okay, well, hey, man.
And you know, I mean, opening those packs is almost like a a different type of gambling in a way. And you know, it's weird for me to sit here and say that Pokemon cards is like gambling, but like, you know,
Gambling isn't the right word because I feel like gambling insinuates that you're making your money back, which you can do.
That is fair.
But, you know, it's not necessarily That's why I use the term gotcha.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's more in the Japanese terms but I'm using that because I say that, right? And that's what I would call it because I wouldn't call it gambling personally. But I mean, if you want to sell it, then you could. So I guess in that sense, it's like CS:GO, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, if we're gonna talk about this, I want to talk about CS:GO because that, in my opinion, is the first time in the West here that something very close to underage gambling became a thing.
Yes.
I mean, obviously there is underage gambling, like if you were to do some black market back alley type shit, but wide pressed, easily available. And I'm not talking about CS:GO crates. I'm talking about the coin flip websites.
Yep.
I'm talking about the loot crate websites. Those. I'm talking about those. That is gambling.
Yeah.
And I feel now you can make the same argument, right? You could say, okay, well, he doesn't have to sell that cool op or that cool shiny gun. He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And most people don't. But it's hard to ignore the fact that those you can easily. It's way more easily to sell those in a I mean, you can eBay your Pokemon card or whatever. It's fine. But in the grand scheme of things, it's way more not as seamless as just putting your gun up, your Dragon Lore op up on Steam Marketplace and someone buying it.
Yeah, and you know, you look at those types of websites that, you know, you would have a chance to get a really good skin, but at the same time, when you have the people who are owning or who own those websites, they're doing some weird sketchy shit, and you know, they're publicly making it seem like it's not as bad as it actually is. You know, that's when the real problems start to happen.
Yeah, I don't. It's like, no, I was gonna say like the GTA gambling, but it's not because you can't really return money, I don't think. So I wouldn't say that, but it's just tough.
GTA gambling.
Yeah, like the casino.
Oh. Wait.
Well, I mean, you buy shark cards.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah,
but you can't return that money, right? Like you don't get the money, right?
I don't think
it's just in game, right?
Yeah.
So that's a different beast.
Yeah.
Another thing that's different about it is that it's not physical, these CS:GO skins.
Yeah.
That's another thing that kind of draws it away from the fact that it's a physical collectible. Because when it's a physical collectible, it's a little different vibe. It's still a collectible. I'm not saying, okay, I played CS. I think the Dragon Lore is really cool. It's just that for me, as a person, if I got a Dragon Lore, that shit's going on the market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I haven't played CS in forever. I don't, CS:GO is kind of, I wouldn't say dead, but it's not as poppin' as it once was. But at the same time, it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? You're playing, you're a kid, 12 years old, got into CS:GO, you know?
Right.
And you unbox a Dragon Lore. That's a couple grand.
Yeah.
I don't think that kid understands that that's a couple grand.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
this PNG is a car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you can make that distinction, I think it's okay.
Right.
But for the younger audience who doesn't understand that, that's where the issue lies, because they don't understand that what they just did is gambling. And they just won the lottery. They want it, but they don't realize that they won a lot of money. They hit the jackpot and they're just keeping it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, the thing that's really disheartening is, especially when you're dealing with people who don't know what they're doing, you know, there will be a lot of people out there who will just sit there and try to take advantage of that. And that just really sucks. It really sucks when you look at all of the people who have been able to, you know, steal skins or steal a lot of this non-tangible stuff because, like, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? There's two arguments to this. One argument is that it's the kid's fault for trying it.
Right.
Like, they should know better because it's gambling. Another argument is that it shouldn't exist in the first place.
Yeah, I mean,
But I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not. I don't know what is the opposite of the latter. The first choice. The kid shouldn't have done it because there is no reason why someone couldn't have seen this as a marketing option, a way to make money. And they're like, let's do it. They're hustling. Fuck you, dude. But the kid needs to understand that this is money.
real money.
Real money. They're dealing with real money. That's the issue that I'm having. So I'm not gonna blame the websites or the people that coordinate it because
They can't control who is going and
no,
using their
they
site.
can't. No, they cannot.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't want to. I really don't want to use this as an example because it's one on a different level, and two very controversial. But it's like, who is at fault of a drunk of a drink and driving incident?
The person who was drinking.
The person who was drinking, right?
Yeah.
Is it the bar's fault?
No.
No. Is it the alcohol's fault? Is it the alcohol's fault? Is it the store who? Is it the vendor's fault who sold him that alcohol?
No.
No, it's not. It's the person who drank it, right?
Yeah.
And it's very, very controversial. I understand. Very controversial. I understand. But that's just an example. That's to give an extreme to compare it to. That's what it is. So the kid needs to understand, and it's hard because it
They're
depends on how
kids.
you're grown up. Because when I was growing up, I was taught the value of money. I was taught, because I grew up a little differently, not necessarily unfortunate, but not necessarily the richest people in the world, right?
Right.
So we lived off of like hand-me-downs and buying used and stuff at secondhand, and that was fine, but whenever I wanted a new game, my dad didn't just buy it for me. I didn't buy it until like the game had been out for like 3 or 4 years, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So like, just because I had the money, I shouldn't have bought it. I don't have to buy it. And just because I have enough money to buy it and save a little bit, that still doesn't mean I shouldn't. That still doesn't mean I should, right?
Right.
I should still understand whether I need this thing, how important the money is to me, and what I need the other money for to buy for other things. And it's because of the way I was raised like that I'm grateful I was raised like that because, I still as a kid I was so snotty. I was like, I want to buy this Penguin membership,
Right.
And unfortunately, I still found ways to do it. Sorry, Dad. But
Yeah, and I mean the hardest part is when you talk to kids who, I don't want to say are ungrateful, but the kids who were kind of spoon-fed. And
I'm gonna say ungrateful.
okay, fine.
I'm gonna say ungrateful.
Ungrateful. And
Spoiled, spoon-fed,
yeah.
privilege, but yes, well, I wouldn't say privilege, but privilege is part of it. But yes, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I was definitely very fortunate by the way that I was raised because my family was very financially stable, which meant that I was able to have opportunities that I may not have had if I wasn't raised by the people who I was. But I was grateful for it. And so when you're sitting there looking at people who are sitting there complaining about how the $50,000 car that they got for their 16th birthday isn't the color that they wanted.
Oh my.
That's one of those situations where it's like, dude, I feel like you don't know what money is.
Yeah.
Because it's not just this thing that people acquire for doing nothing. You have to earn it. And I'm literally, for my internship, for me going into the career that I want to be in,
Mm-hmm.
I'm working 40 hours a week for free
Right.
so that I can get paid at some point, but not right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah, exactly. It's hard.
It's
it really is. I know I'm doing the obligatory. Oh, it's hard. Just after the sentence, but
yeah,
it's hard, man. No, but I'm serious. It's when you have that passion and they have that drive, and I mean, it's kind of a weird segue to go into career talk, but you do a lot of these careers, and you do it sometimes, for free, unpaid, until you're able to do so, and that's to account for how much work you need to put in to be able to make this money.
right.
Because money makes the world go round. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's just it's economy.
Yeah.
We need economy, whether you like it or not. We need economy for humans to function, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, it would just be communism. But
Hey man, hey man.
I mean, it just, it gets really tricky because like, you know, you're sitting there working your ass off, not getting paid a penny, and then you're just sitting there like, fuck, man, this is so like shitty.
It is shitty, but Zach, you're not. I already told you this, Zach. You're not special.
Right.
Get fucked. No, I'm just kidding. Get absolutely fucking obliterated on my show, Zach. No, I'm just kidding. You know, everybody had to do it. Everybody's gone through it. The people that you're working under, they've done it too. You know?
Right.
So you're not just gonna get the pass unless you like discovered cancer or discovered the cure for cancer. I don't know. Maybe you don't have to do an internship.
Yeah.
But you know,
But I mean that, you know,
it's unfortunate, but
right.
it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
Still.
And I mean, you know, obviously everyone's got to go through the trials and tribulations of getting into a specific field, no matter what it is. But at the same time, you know, obviously it sucks.
It does suck.
And the people who did it before me told me, hey, this is going to suck. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, you know, I did my 10-hour shift, not getting paid a penny, going home, waking up at 5:30 every morning. It's just like, you know, it's worth it, but it's not. It's like, it's worth what the end goal is going to be, but at the same time, like where I'm at right now is really shitty.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's really shitty too. Like for what I'm trying to do, right?
Right.
I'm
exactly.
not, I don't like talking about finance stuff. I love talking about marketing, but I don't like talking about finance because that makes me sound presumptuous.
Yeah. And
I don't know what that word means, but I used it.
I mean, when you're talking about like,
when you're talking about careers, I have to. And the case of the matter is, you know, it's hard for me to make a return on a lot of things I'm doing.
Right.
And I'm working my ass off just as much as you are, believe it or not.
I know. And
you know, I mean, I sleep in sometimes, but that doesn't mean I'm not sleeping late, or that doesn't mean I'm going to bed at a good time or getting good sleep. You know, I'm crushing my ass off. I'm trying to do the most, and most of the time it is for free too. I do, you know, some work for commission and stuff like that. I'm working a part-time job and stuff, but for the things that I'm trying to do right now, a lot of it I'm not able to make most of the returns for. Right. And that's not me crying like, please donate, please sub to my Twitch. No, it's just the truth, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because if anybody could do it, then then everybody would be able to do it. If everybody just wanted to start a Twitch and then just get bank, you know, then Twitch wouldn't even be able to exist. Yeah. You know, it's that grind, and you know, it's got to wake up and grind, you know, that type of bullshit motivation type thing, but it's the truth, you know.
Yeah.
You have to work your ass off on things that you don't want to do in order to do the things that you want to do sometimes. Right. And you value this differently because for me, for school, you think, okay, well, Arthur, Anuki, if you really wanted to pursue this X career, why don't you just stay in school? Because aren't you being a hypocrite? If you don't like school, like I'm taking a break from school at the moment. So if you don't like school, why are you taking a break? Just deal with it because that's just something you don't want to do. But it's a different thing when I've realized that school is not part of what I want to do.
Right.
Right. And some things aren't going to be part of it, but if it's literally going to hindrance the ability for me to do so, then that's not very efficient. You know, I need this time to work on the things that I need to work on.
Right. And also, I want you to know, I really want to clarify that, like, I'm not trying to like do a 1-to-1 comparison because both of us are doing.
Oh, they're very different.
And you know, I've told you since the very beginning, like, I support the hustle. Hence the reason why I'm here. But you know, it's interesting because the situation that we're in right now is so similar yet so different because we're both going about it in two different ways. Where, like, you know, we're both sitting here busting our asses trying to get stuff done, but we're just going about it differently.
Yes.
Which is cool. It's really cool to watch because, like, you know, I get to be that guy who's sitting here supporting you like, fuck yeah, Arthur, do your thing. And then, you know, you're doing the same thing for me when I'm going and getting peed on by dogs and shit. Also, by the way, I'm in veterinary medicine.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't just get peed on by dogs for fun now.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, I don't get paid for it, but, like, it's fine. But, you know, it's just really cool when we are able to just go throughout our lives, work on the things that we're trying to work on, and be able to support each other. And I think that is just really, really awesome. But unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to wrap up for this episode. But it'll be really cool to just kind of touch on this type of stuff in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure. Career talk, all that type of stuff. There are plenty more that I'd love to talk about the story, because I don't think I've gone through the story of my life crisis story of being able to understand what it is that I wanted to do. I've said it in stream. I haven't done it in the podcast yet, so that could be its own episode.
Yeah, and I literally have not talked about any school related stuff on the podcast, so
still tons to talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So more episodes to come though, so
Hell yeah. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And we have a coffee link down below if you decide that you want to support with, throw us $1 or something, but completely optional. You don't have to do it. Obviously, any type of support is the good support. So
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Anyways, peace and chicken grease. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye. Yes.